Buy $446,000 in cash flow for $135,000. Get a loan from the SBA with 10% down and buy a commercial landscaping business in Harris County. The purchase price is $1.35 million. The down payment is about $135,000. You'll take on $1.215 million worth of debt. Make sure you can pay the debt from the cash flow. The payments are going to be about $18,000 per month. You'll have $223,000 left over after debt payments for the year. Identify potential red flags. The landscaping companies often have staffing issues. Identify the strengths. There's solid accounting and licensed field crews in place and a good amount of money left over for an operator. Go to your team to underwrite, your accountant, lawyer, equity partner, and maybe due diligence company, and buy this business. Watch the cash roll in as you lock in more commercial contracts. So some of the things that I would be looking at in this business when I'm looking to purchase it, have that cash flow roll in, scale to more contracts is A, how do they train their team to retain talent? This would look at a couple things. A, their onboarding process. B, their kind of training process, how long it is and what it entails. And then C, their culture to actually retain talent. So A, their kind of onboarding process, the interview process. What types of people are you getting as your talent? Like they said, they had licensed field crews, both managers and licensed people. And because it's a commercial landscaping company, like when I think landscaping, I typically think kind of lower minimum wage workers. But since it's a commercial landscaping company, it might be more specialized work. So people might need to have some more qualifications with their work that they're doing, right? And so that's the first question I would have. How qualified are these people? Is it a 4-year degree? Is it a 6-week program that got them certified? Is it a combination thereof? And what, like, generally are they trying to do in their life? Like, I just want to understand my potential employees like I would understand my customer for a business. What are their fears? What are their ideal outcomes? What are their pain points? How do they expect to get there? What do their families typically look like? What are their demographics? What are their psychographics? Those are things I want to understand about my employees because it'll help me understand how can I meet them there and then how can I help take them to where they want to go while they're in my business. So that's what I would want to understand about the onboarding process, the interview process. How do we understand their character during the interview process? And a lot of this stuff might be some turnkey stuff that I bring in. I just want to know how it's currently run so it gives me a picture of the current employees. And what's their training process look like? How long to onboard somebody? And then their culture. What is the glue that is helping the team stick together? Are people on job sites doing drugs? Like, that's not what we want. Or are they on job sites with great customer service, showing up on time? Are they staying late? Are they leaving right on time? Are they going to the bar afterwards together as a team? Like, where do they bond? How do they bond? Just some of the things that I would want to know. Understand the culture, and really you get that from talking to management, but also being a part of the culture and realizing, hey, what is happening on the day-to-day, and then serving your team in a way that they trust you with the day-to-day, even though you're in authority. So that's a lot of the stuff that I want to know. Okay, how do they structure their team to retain talent? What does the culture look like? What does the onboarding process look like? What does the interview process look like? And who is the person we're targeting? I want to know all that because I've heard landscaping and managing people, it's hard. And when you're managing people at especially minimum wage stuff, you need really good systems, really good processes, and a proven model. And a lot of times, a smaller cap commercial business like this doesn't have the systems, the processes, the proven model, the proven lead generation to really make managing people who are getting that lower price point worth it. Like, it'd be better to go really high ticket, get really specialized workers that have a bit more just ability to be coachable, if you will. Like, a lot of people, when they're stuck at a lower price point, dollar per hour situation, it's hard to expect high character in that position because a lot of times you're getting teenagers or young adults or people who have neglected responsibility in life, and that doesn't tend to be good. So in order to be able to focus up there and develop your people well, the rest of the business has to be good. And typically in a small cap business like this, it's not that good. So That's what I want to understand about the team. I also know this is in Houston, so how have they recovered from hurricanes? It's a commercial landscaping business. They're working outside. Weather obviously stops them from doing work sometimes, and Houston has crappy weather, but I'm in Austin, so that's why I think Houston has crappy weather. It's just so humid over there. It gets hit with hurricanes, and doesn't get hit with hurricanes like every year or anything, but when it does, it's bad. And so, what does the recovery look like for this commercial landscaping business? Did they have and retain clients pre and post Katrina? Like those are some of the things I would want to know. Just because natural disasters, man, they'll take you out, and you can have insurance, but if you lose all your clients because of natural disasters, like that would suck. Or you're out of work for four months, and you need to pay people still because people still need to eat. That's a hard thing, right? So I would want to understand how hurricanes affect the kind of life cycle of jobs in this market. The other thing I would ask is, how much experience do I need? Like, am I ever going to need to do some real custom landscaping work if I buy this business? For example, how deep does the team go? Like, if one key person quits on my team, am I going to have to show up and do what they were doing? Because chances are I can't do that because I've never done any landscaping. So it's real important that I understand A, the ins and outs of the business, B, where I can get some subcontractors, and then C, how deep our employees run. If I know I can get some subcontractors, I know the ins and outs of the business enough to where if I absolutely need to, I could show up. And then C, I know how deep our employees run. We're not relying on one person to do more than one thing in our business. Like, we always have 2 people that can do a thing. Like, that is really important. Or 3 people that can do a thing, really. Because it sucks to lose a key person, and it's like, oh, well, that's just not getting done anymore when it's something that's critical to the business. So I want to know how much experience I need. And then, are there viable operators out there, and can I hire one? This I have absolutely no idea how to do, but it's the question that I would ask. Because honestly, when I'm buying a business, say it's what was this? This was 1.35 million. So you're putting 135,000 down. You're getting 446,000 a year in cash flow. The debt payments, I think you had 223,000 left over after your debt payments. That's a 10-year SBA loan with a 13.5% interest rate, I believe. That's 223,000. You can pay somebody $200,000 to grow your business and give them 5% equity once they take the business to. It's at 446 right now. Once they take the business to 1.5 million, they can get 5% equity. Once they take the business to 3 to 5 million in profit, they can get 10% equity. And so right now you're at 446K, but they 10x your business, and 10x is a lot, actually. But say they 10x your business in 10 years, they're going to have 10% equity, but you're going to be making 4.5 million a year. Man, that's pretty wild. Say they 2x your business in 5 years, you're still coming off with a good chunk of change, and they get 5% of that cash flow, right? They get their salary, 200 plus 5% of the cash flow, but now you get 95% of $900,000 for really not doing any work. And during that time, you probably also acquired some businesses. So that's kind of the thing behind hiring operators, being able to source CEOs that have scaled businesses before. And you need to know what kind of price point you need to buy for that, because honestly, there are plenty of people doing plenty of stuff, and there are CEOs that consistently take companies from 10 million to 50 million or 500,000 to 5 million. I don't know if they're CEOs for that spot, but I'm sure you can find somebody who has done it before and would do it again, because there are 7 billion people on the planet, and if there's not somebody out there that does that, it would be a great business to match CEOs to businesses that needed them. So I know for a fact that service is out there, but specifically for that 500,000 EBITDA company, right? Or SDE, whatever you call it. Well, guys, that is really the questions that I wanted to answer or ask about this business. How do they train their team to retain talent? I want to understand that whole process. I want to understand how they have recovered from hurricanes. How much experience do I need, and what's the depth of the team's kind of org chart? Do we have more than 2 people that can do everything in the business? And are there viable operators, and can I hire one? These are the things I would ask if I were going to go buy this business. Alas, you guys are different than me. You might have landscaping business and you might be like, hey, I can just buy this thing and roll it into my current landscaping company, and that is fantastic. Everybody has a different reason for their acquisition. These are just the questions I would ask from my personal situation. And that is all we got for you guys today on the show. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next one. And remember, we are a community of people judged not by our wealth, but by our impact.